Hey, welcome back to the Disney News Podcast. Taylor, we are graced with podcast royalty.
We are.
Disney. No. Don't be. They're not talking. They can't be seen on camera, and it's my show. Like I was saying before we start recording, my show. I'm just going to ramble on. Taylor, who is with us?
We have Doug and Derek from Rope Drop Radio, the epic Rope Drop Radio.
Wow. That is an intro, guys. Thank you so much. Wow, I've royalty. I'm going to tell my wife that later and see how she feels about that one.
It should go over great, Derek.
Absolutely.
Fellas, when I reached out to y'all, I thought it was kind of a shot in the dark. I did not think that we would actually have this opportunity. I actually told Taylor, I sent an email, sent a message. We'll see what happens. I'm just throwing anything against the wall to see if it'll stick. And lo and behold, here we are. So this is a real moment. Thank you so much. And we're done for the night. That's the end of our episode. We appreciate your time.
Thank you guys so much.
Wow, that was quick.
And up. We're good. No, fellas. Yes. Thank you so much. Taylor and I are on the prefaces, whatever. We're at the very beginning of our next Walt Disney World trip.
Yep.
We are, what is your countdown, Taylor?
I have 5 sleeps.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
There you go. Love it.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
nice.
You are doing the
Oh, my little girl that tonight. 5 sleeps, and we are going to Disney World.
okay.
So
I'm not gonna do the math. I think I looked at my Disney Experience app. We are 10 days. 10 days. So we are in it to win it. We are excited. We are one of those that we're not annual pass. At least I'm not an annual pass holder
Yet.
I wish. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been trying to. I'm like, let's get one. My wife. I told her. I said, hey, let's reap the benefits of the discounts, the 20% off that, everything that goes along with it. Why not just one? Because we're going at least 2 or 3 times a year. Come on. But regardless,
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't have an annual pass, and then I started the podcast. Now it's just part of every year. Just renew it every year. It's like taxes. It's just going to be that thing.
You just know you got to pay it. Just you know.
And now my kids have them. My wife has it. I was like,
Wow.
for a while, it's just me. Now it's the whole family.
That's it. Now, if you don't mind me asking y'all, fellas, are y'all located in Florida? Are y'all nearby? Is that y'all locals? Like,
We are not. We are both in Nebraska. We live about an hour apart. But yeah, we're in a flyover state, if you will. So I'm just outside of Omaha, Nebraska, and Derek's in Lincoln.
there we go.
Yeah, it's a
Omaha,
little bit.
I love it.
Taylor has made the trip for the. He played college baseball. Speaking for him.
Oh, yes.
Speaking for him.
Yeah. So I went out to Omaha in 2014 and expected to stay 3 days, and we stayed 17.
Oh,
I love it.
Yeah. So I love Omaha. That is one of my top 5 places that I would love to go back.
Who
All
did you
roads
play
lead.
for?
Virginia.
Virginia. Okay, it's good to know. I mean, I didn't boo you then if I went to a game. That's
Who'd you boo? Let me ask you
oh,
that.
I mean, I would have definitely booed Miami.
Obviously.
100%.
And probably the Florida Gators as well.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
There's a few others I've booed in the past. I
Right.
won't boo LSU because they bring like the whole state of Louisiana and they're just an economy boom. So
Exactly.
mhm.
It's a party.
Yeah. Oh, it is. The LSU people come regardless of whether they make it or not.
Right.
But,
Exactly.
And
that's awesome.
no, but given that, I can't help but make a shout out to my undergrad. I went to the University of South Carolina, which I'm located in the upstate of South Carolina, not too far from Greenville, South Carolina. So that's kind of the focal point there. And yet again,
Mhm.
Taylor already kind of said he's in Virginia. So there's that.
Mhm.
Yay, exciting. Not exactly in the South per se, because they don't really have sweet tea. He likes to claim that, but if you don't have sweet tea in your state, you're not Southern. You're not the Southeast. But anyway, no, I wanted to give a big shout out to Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks. We just won our 3rd national championship tonight. Love Caitlin Clark, not really, but great. We won. We were beside ourselves, and that's why I'm surprised I still have a voice. And my children, I've got 3 kids of my own. I'm 3 deep. I call them my little anchors. I can go places, but just not that fast. I never go that. Just kind of, they don't that. They just slow me down, which is good.
Doug and I both know 3 kid
Kids,
club.
yeah.
Oh,
Mine
wow.
just have to keep
That's
up. I don't I'll look back and make sure they're there every now and then. If they don't keep up, then I don't know what their problem is.
That's it. It's their problem, not their problem. Is not your problem. I completely agree. Exactly. But fellas, we've got to get down to brass tacks. We got to get to the fact of the matter. We talked a little ahead of time, but I have to know. And let's just go. I would go grammatically, but if we have to go past the first letter, that's beyond me. Or alphabetical order. I guess, Derek, what is your Disney origin story? Why do you do a Disney podcast? Where does it all stem from?
Wow. Well, I grew up a Disney's kid. I was a 1980 baby, so I had Disney's one Saturday morning, the Renaissance. So I always knew I was in love with this IP, even at a young age. And then started going to the parks when I was 9 and went every few years with my family. Fell in love right away. Lo and behold, I get married. We honeymoon at Disney World. We start going more often. I start a podcast. Now it's literally my office, my DNA. I don't know if I can go out in the street without someone talking to me about something Disney. So I love it. And then it actually turned into my career too. I got a degree in broadcast production and in film. All because of all the love that I had for Disney stuff.
Wow.
Incredible. Wow. You are so. What is it like to be succinct? What is it like to get the point across in one sentence, in one breath? That was just.
It is something I got to do this for a living. So not only do I have a degree in that, I run a networking ecosystem. So I actually do presentations all the time, all over. And so I've had to learn and teach myself how to talk efficiently and get to the point. Why use 15 words when 10 will do type of thing.
Great.
And then I have Doug, and Doug will use 38 words. And I'm like, I'm going to edit. I do all the editing of the show. There's a lot of times I'm just like, edit that out of Doug.
You mentioned that to me a lot, like say more with less, but
Doug, what is your Disney origin story?
Well, a long time ago. No, I'll get right down to it. So grew up going to the parks every couple years. Fortunate enough that my parents took us as kids. Went there on a band trip in high school, honeymoon, and then started going regularly once we had kids. And it just kept growing. I fascinated with the Imagineering side of it, the engineering side of it, the creativity merged with science, I think, is what I really enjoyed about the parks, because I have a creative side, but I have a science side, and that's the one place where both get to tangle. So, and that's what led to podcasts and all that sort of stuff too.
How about that? That's incredible.
Do that fast enough, Derek?
It was good.
Thank you.
You put me to shame. Taylor would go on. He would ramble on and on for hours and say, well, there's this one time where you spoke over me, this other time where you didn't give me a chance to breathe or even think or blink or do whatever. But that's the case. But yeah, my main reason for being a Disney fanatic, and honestly, I didn't realize that Disney burnout was a thing, until we really started kind of ramping up, did the podcast, committed ourselves. And we've always gone to the parks at least twice a year the past 6 years. And a big part of our Disney experience, at least my wife and I, because we try to balance, the family Disney thing, the typical Disney vacation. And we go in droves of we've done, I think the most in one package deal with us, our clan, was 16. We're talking in-laws, cousins, the neighbor's dog, everybody. Come one, come all type situation. But our big thing is the Run Disney community. So my wife and I are really into Run Disney. We're going to be doing our third Disney race, and that's the main reason why we're going to the parks. I think we're going to be, at least for me, we're doing half the week, the 17th or the 22nd of April. And Taylor's going to be down there for the week. And we are going to be piggybacking with him. And I think maybe kind of, we're not taking advantage. We're not riding the coattails, but we were invited. I didn't beg for this, but we're doing a VIP tour. Ooh. And so that's going to be a new experience. And Taylor's I think you've already done a couple of those, right?
Yeah, I've done 2. So this will be number 3.
So we're going to have a lot of new experiences coming up, and we're really excited about all the new things coming to the parks. But at the same time, with all that being said and done, they dropped a lot of bombs on us. Disney IP across the board. We're talking Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, if you call it DAK, AK, whatever. I'm still trying to understand all the acronyms behind WDW. But Taylor, what is the latest with all that?
I mean, I was going to get y'all's take on all of this. We'll start with, they released some pictures and videos of Tiana's Bayou Adventure, all the animatronics. As Doug was saying about the Imagineering aspect, they actually started posting on YouTube Disney Imagineering with Josh D'Amaro, kind of behind the scenes of, this is what we've got in the works. Let's show it to everybody. So I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but they had Lewis, they had Tiana, they had Mama Odie, the snake, they had a couple other characters. And I mean, to me, I think it's going to be top notch. That's my take on it. But what do y'all say?
Oh, I agree. I think those animatronics, they look fantastic. I was blown away when I watched it on Twitter the other day. And I think that attraction has needed a refresh for a while. And I think Tiana's, even though people are complaining, there's no mountains in the bayou, I think it's the right IP for that area of the park. And I'm definitely going to go on it. I know Doug and we're going to be there right around when it's opening. So hopefully we get a chance to check it out.
What are we speculating? Like, what? I know they said summer, and the way it's testing. What do y'all think?
So we are going to be there June 4th through the 7th.
Oh, nice.
So it will most likely open the 8th.
Yep, 100%.
So I mean that does it. But there is a chance it opens for Memorial Day. However, there is some speculation Juneteenth will be the opening day for it.
Makes sense.
Just from a publicity standpoint. However, that doesn't mean it can't be in soft open for 2 weeks prior to that.
AP, DVC, all the previews.
Right.
Hopefully we can somehow land on one.
So hopefully we get on it while we're there. I think before Memorial Day makes sense from a capacity standpoint and from getting the word out, getting people to still book their end of summer vacations. If they can have that first rush over Memorial Day come and then evangelize about it, that would be great from a business standpoint. But then do the official ribbon cutting, something like that on Juneteenth wouldn't be too crazy. I don't think. We were going to make a snack bet about it, but we both wanted the same side of the bet. So that didn't work.
There we go. Cool.
What do you think, Abbott?
No, this is my take on it. Coming down to it, the theming. I love New Orleans. I love the culture. Don't get me wrong, the Bayou, Lake Pontchartrain. I've had some great memories in New Orleans, all that fun stuff. But what about the theming? I know they're changing, what is it, the Penny Arcade or the Shooting Gallery? I know they're changing that into a DVC lounge, but the theming, I'm with you, Doug. I'm with you. I'm on that side.
Really?
I'm on the opposite. I love it.
I just don't like
excited.
I just don't like how excited Derek is.
I
don't care about the shooting gallery. I just don't like Derek's excitement.
Hey, I'm with you, Derek. I'm excited for that.
Yep, we've needed one in Magic Kingdom, and I'm finally glad we're getting one.
Wow.
I agree. That is true. I mean, that is lacking. That is one of the few places, and they just rolled out. You can now get a cocktail at the sit-down restaurants at Magic Kingdom. That's one of the new things they had going the past year or so. But anyway, the theming of Frontierland. How does the Bayou blend in with Frontierland? That is what are they looking at? Maybe recreating New Orleans Square based in Disneyland? Because you got Pirates of the Caribbean right there, segueing into Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and then everything in between. What are y'all's thoughts with that?
Well, if we really want to think about it as Louisiana Purchase, right? It's like the entryway into the West. So the Mississippi River up. There's a billion ways we can spin it. As long as the ride is fun, who cares? Somebody does. Somebody cares. But it was the Briar Patch really in Adventure or Frontierland? Not really. That didn't really fit, in my opinion. Like Thunder Mountain aesthetic next to a Briar Patch didn't make any sense. Neither does this. So we're equally not making sense. Thunder Mountain is based off of a canyon in Utah. So right next door.
That's it. Okay. That's a good take. That's a really good take. I didn't think about that. Like the segue into when you said Louisiana Purchase, I'm like, okay, I'm taking a backseat to this one. I'm all ears. This is excellent.
I went nowhere with that strategy.
Hey, you had me convinced.
I'll tell you, piggybacking off of that strategy, if they're talking now about Beyond Big Thunder and that aspect, so they're talking. What have they said might be going back there?
Ooh. I don't know that they've said exactly. Have they, Derek?
They've speculated, but it's more like they're throwing darts and seeing which one the fans don't pull away as fast as possible. So, I mean, BioReconstruct just took pictures back there. There's no earth moving, nothing happening. I mean, you look down the street at Epic Universe. I mean, Epic Universe is like, hey, we built this in a year and a half, and D23 2 years ago was when we were like, hey, we might think about maybe doing something back in this over here.
So so part of it to think of what might come to the Magic Kingdom. First of all, there's permits have been filed to start moving things. I will remind you, permits were also filed for a theater on Main Street. So
that never happened.
Yeah. All right. So we have progress, but it may not be anything. But it looks like Encanto is going to the Animal Kingdom in a South America pavilion, right? Or land, right? So I would take Encanto off the table, which is what I would have originally thought was going back there. But I think they might see how popular the villains thing is, how they can shoehorn villains in back there, or possibly Tangled, expand the bathroom. Maybe all the bathrooms are Tangled themed. I don't know.
They should be.
They should. They really should.
They really should.
I mean, why not the Frozen land that they're getting in Paris and in Asia?
Yeah,
that one looks so cool. Why wouldn't that's an easy layup on there.
That's a win right there.
Exactly. Well, Disney did claim in the investors call. I forgot what day last week. I think Thursday, Friday. But regardless, they, Bob Iger was asked about, hey, what is your response to Epic Universe? Because Epic Universe is going to be opening. I mean, literally, I see a tracker on Twitter that says like 85% done. They're already testing rides. We know all that, right? Outside of getting all the ins and outs there. But given that, he said that, well, we've been investing the whole time. Look at the rides like Tron, and I'm not trying to make light of that. We've already had a whole episode about our WTF Disney episode, like you're raising prices, you're blah blah this, you're doing that. We can complain all day. We're not here to commiserate. We're not here to kick Disney while they're potentially down. But his take on that was, we have invested billions. We have invested billions upon billions of dollars in Tron, in Guardians of the Galaxy, in all these different rides, and refurbishing and updating Epcot, all that kind of stuff. There's stuff that's new, but I don't know. I have a hard time really, processing that information outside of the, not being, the brightest bulb in the box, but literally, I think we need a new land. I think we are kind of stuck in the past. We're in the back seat. We're not driving. No one's behind. We have people behind the wheel, but we're not controlling our own destiny in this situation.
We need two new lands, and Dino Land refurb, which really isn't a new land.
Correct.
It's just a remake, which would add the exact capacity back, and then the behind, Thunder would be new. That's what they need, and they needed it now. And they're not even moving dirt yet. But like, he knows, claiming that Tron and like Ratatouille is an answer to Epic Universe. He knows that's not a real answer. He knows that's the talking point, right? Because really, Guardians was an answer to Velocicoaster, right? They've been building attractions as well. Hagrid's. That was Tron. Well, if Tron would have opened when Tron should have opened with like Derek's third born. But
6 years it took for that thing to go.
Elephants can have multiple babies in that time. So we need the two lands, and we need them fast. And they need to stop claiming they did anything at Epcot that was exciting, because Ratatouille was literally a lift, copy, and paste. Didn't even change the audio track. Same audio track from
the splash pad that took 4 years to build.
It's not even a splash pad, Derek.
I know. It's
It's
not
an educational water feature.
Yeah.
There you go.
Have you guys had the pleasure of Moana yet?
I have not.
Yes, we did the
there you
walkthrough.
go.
I enjoyed it. It was not. It's exactly what you said. It's just a walkthrough. It's kind of you get wet. You can go one way that stays dry, or another way that makes you a little bit wet. It's for the kids. It is for the kids. It's a good experience, but when you do it once, you're good. It's a one and done, and it is a way to help kind of keep the crowds flowing. I know all the walls were up and all that kind of stuff, and I think they're about to open up the new. What is it?
Communicore.
Thank you, Communicore. I know I saw some videos where they're testing the lighting. That looks somewhat promising.
Yeah.
And we have real life Figment. I have yet to meet him. That's exciting.
Oh, he's great.
We're lucky
Really?
he's still alive.
Yep.
We were there. We saw him on the day he fell. It was tragic.
I've seen the video that Doug did not post.
I did not. No, because there's spoiler alert. It's someone. Yes. Anyway, I don't want to spoil anything for the children. But poor Figment. It was a rough day.
I mean, everything. And I know that Disney has had some bad PR. Outside, and we're not getting into the politics, and I'm not going to ask because I know that Nebraska is typically I'm joking. I'm not going to go that far, but no, regardless of that, it's not that things need to change. We just need to ramp things up. I know I'm saying things. That's been the theme when it comes to anything that Disney has going on. You hurry up just to wait. The greatest example, and we finally got news about that, in my opinion, because I've been going frequently, at least twice a year to the park since 2018, is that Little Mermaid experience, that water experience at Hollywood Studios right next to Star Wars Launch Bay. They finally announced something with that. When is that going to happen? Yet to be seen. But it's little things like that just, what are we doing? Are we cash poor?
That building's been empty, full of asbestos or whatever for
black mold.
4 or 5. Black mold. Sorry,
black mold.
Wrong thing. I'm not a doctor, dog. Okay.
Basically, they shut it down for COVID, and they forgot to dry it inside because it has the mist that it sprays, right? So, yeah.
I mean, there's so much area over there in Hollywood Studios they could do anything with.
The question is, will I have a child graduate from college before they open the Behind Thunder Mountain land? That's the real. And I don't have a kid in college yet, so
she starts soon.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's a senior in high school, but
oh my gosh, how are you holding on? How are you holding on to this point? I have my oldest is a freshman in high school. I can't imagine.
I don't know. Happens fast.
He cries a lot. It's okay.
Yeah, it's what corners are for. Go into a corner.
Let me ask y'all this: what are y'all's take on Animal Kingdom, the new or the not new, but the refurbished land, Dino Land?
I want to speak for Derek. He is not excited at all.
Really?
Derek, I kind of share your sentiment.
Nope. I'm excited for a part of it, though. Doug is right earlier. It's not like we're adding any more rides. We're getting back up to 3 attractions. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. And so I am excited for that to be coming. But also part of me is like, how long is this going to take? It took, I don't know, 6 years for Tron. Am I going to have to wait 6 years am I going to have a kid in high school? Yeah, I probably will by the time this is done. So I've one in middle. My oldest is in middle school.
Gotcha. Nice.
But I think it's great. I think it's needed years ago.
And
yes,
I think they'll be able to turn around the Indy ride fairly quick. Hopefully they'll get that done, operate that portion of the land while they finish the Encanto build. Also, I am hopeful that there is a trail like, the animal trails they have in Africa and Asia for South American animals. Go see a jaguar or something.
Oh, wow.
Because it's time to acknowledge that
bring back the animals.
The Americas exist animal wise within the park. And so that would be a good addition, would be to add some animals to that part of the park. I think Encanto has a lot of options. Hopefully it's a high capacity sort of ride. Do believe the Triceratops spin will survive, but rethemed. So Derek and I's favorite attraction to do together
every time
will be there.
I don't remember the last time I've gone to Animal Kingdom and even solo not ridden Triceratops spin.
You have to do it.
You got to. It's like the number one thing I put on Twitter whenever I post about it. It gets all the comments.
I don't know why it gets so many comments, Derek. It's our love for Triceratops spin is questioned by many, but it is true and heartfelt.
Well, have y'all heard the rumblings that the Encanto might be a Mystic Manor type?
I have, which is exciting. I mean, that's a type of ride that doesn't really exist at the Animal Kingdom. We don't have that Omnimover type of ride. I mean, the closest we get to an Omnimover was actually a water ride in Pandora, you know, the Navi River Journey, which, so it'd be nice to have an Omnimover, and that's why I'm like, we need something high capacity in the park that can just eat people. Not literally, because Animal Kingdom that's you shouldn't say eat people when there's tigers, but hopefully it's a people mover, so to speak, and can really turn over the crowds. And then once they're done with that, then let's fix the whole like area where you got to take the train back just to meet Timon. If we just put Zootopia there, I'd be happy. I don't care if the animals
new cool Zootopia land. Wow, that looks awesome.
Just carbon copy it. If you're getting
I get the D23 magazine, and I'm like, I hope they just like go on stage at D23 and say, see this cool thing we're doing at the park overseas, we're bringing it here. See this cool thing we're doing we're bringing it here, and they just keep that going.
But with the caveat of update the audio track, unlike Ratatouille. I think you can't get away with that from Asia but it blows my mind that they didn't update the audio track on Ratatouille. Like what was French in France should have been English here, and what is and vice versa. But they didn't do that, so that's why I think some of the story gets lost unless you know French.
Very true.
Yeah,
very true.
Oui.
That's fluent French. That's
thank you.
Si vous plaît. That's all I got. That's a swing and a miss. But no, but regardless, it's hard not to be nostalgic when it comes to classic Disney rides, but we do need changes. You know, we do need changes. We need something now. We need something new. And I think this year is going to be an absolute banner year. And we keep saying that every year. And people assume that D23 is the same thing every year. They think, oh, it's just the same thing carbon copied. No, this is the big one. This is the big one, and so this is such a huge opportunity for them to knock our socks off. But
they changed venues. It's got to be big. They added to it. That's a symbol.
They've booked out the Honda Center in downtown LA. I mean, give me a break for all the Disney legends. This is such a huge deal. This is such a huge opportunity. But what are your thoughts on that when it comes to that? Are they going to knock your socks off, or is it going to be a swing and a miss? I know it's pure speculation, but what are we trending towards?
I went to D23 2 years ago expecting my socks to come off. They never did.
That's because you don't pack enough, Derek.
I didn't pack enough socks. You're right. But true story. But I was really disappointed with the announcements and the lack of things that they did. But what I thought was fascinating was how many times JPEG got booed, or you felt you could feel the frustration at D23. And so you knew changes were coming. So I feel like everyone in the Disney company knows that this year they have to do something. They have to. No permits, nothing big has been filed. You think something would be leaked by now, but really hoping that they just come out swinging home runs and things happen. And if I just have one wish, bring back the Star Cruiser. That's it. That's all I want.
So I think there will be a ton of announcements, because I think the recent political nonsense that was resolved, there was multiple people replaced on the former Reedy Creek board, right? So I think the rubber stamp is back, which means they can actually do something. They haven't been able to do anything because of ongoing litigation. So they were literally stuck. So we got pent up for a year, plus with Epic Universe, they actually have to do something. Instead of claiming they've done something, they are going to offer more parades. So,
there's that.
That's coming. More parades.
So, more cavalcades.
Yes, this will be the big year for D23 because Derek chose not to go.
You're right.
It only makes sense after getting to know y'all in this brief, 30-minute time period. I kind of get that vibe, because that's exactly what I live the ultimate irony. When I don't watch my favorite sports teams play,
they win.
They succeed. And I have tested this theory, and it is foolproof. So if you've got a team that you want to lose, I'm your man.
Yeah.
Bet
Okay,
with
good
me.
to know. Got
You
it.
know,
And I'll tell you, I think I really wanted to go this year,
yes.
but I cannot swing it with work and everything.
Yep.
But I mean, with the amount of legends and the type of legends that are coming out there, I mean, it's going to be one for the ages. I hope. Knock on wood. With Joe Rohde, and I think with him getting back involved in a teaching aspect with the Imagineering.
Yeah. I get the point of bringing him back. You know, obviously, we don't have to go too far and explain too much about him. But Doug, see, Joe Rohde is a classic Imagineer. Okay. And he's known for, I'm kidding. But no, given all that, I'm here to take both of you to school, which is not going to happen. I'm on the short bus and we're done. No, given all that, what is the main reason of bringing him back? Did they actually, and I may be way behind on this one and I didn't read the room and I'm painting myself in a corner here, but what is he consulting? Is he teaching a master class for other Imagineers? What is his, why are they bringing him back? I get it for optics and kind of building, the suspense and the buy-in for D23 coming up, because that makes you think, Joe Rohde, we've got some big things happening. They're stirring the pot. They're getting speculation going. Hence we're talking about it right now. But what is the main reason for bringing them back beyond just the typical speculation?
So this isn't like the first time there's been an Imagineer come back and kind of consult. A lot of Imagineers have retired and then they kind of consult with. But this sounds more like he's going to teach a master class, basically. Which under Chapek, and with the announced move of Imagineering to Florida, at a time where announcing you're going to move a whole bunch of creative individuals to Florida was very not well received. They lost a lot of institutional knowledge.
Gotcha.
And so they need to build that back up. A lot of new faces that have never, ever met Joe Rohde. So this is a chance to reestablish some tradition, get that institutional knowledge back. And I feel like some of the other retired Imagineers will be doing similar sort of things if they're not already. But under Chapek, the number of people that left the company was pretty astounding on the creative side. I think that's all it is. And
no. Joe Rohde said one day the Yeti would be fixed. I'm expecting him to announce I'm fixing that's the only reason he's coming back. I'll teach this master class if you fix the Yeti. Done.
He's also said that Everest would have to be closed for like 6 months in order to fix the Yeti. And it was closed for a long time and the Yeti does not move, Derek.
Does not move at all.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't care if you fix the Yeti because I will never see the Yeti again. That's all. It was enough. I'm done. No more Yeti for Doug.
And he was only meant to be Disco Yeti from here on out. Infamous Disco Yeti. And that's all we need.
Is that not the best type of Yeti?
Oh no.
I would assume it's the only type of Yeti that we need. It's the one we deserve.
It's not the one we were meant for.
Did you see
the one that meant to move?
Did you see the one that moved on your honeymoon, Derek? Was the
no?
Right?
I just missed it. I actually had to look that up because part of my brain thinks I saw it, and then I literally looked up the dates because my wife's like, I think I saw it. So maybe we got a weird B mode when they were trying it out, but yeah, we just missed the A mode when it was going.
Oh wow.
It's kind of like seeing the cannons move on Rise of the Resistance. You'd be like, yeah, kids, at one time the vehicle moved
one
back.
One time Kylo Ren was on there.
Yeah. It's sad when it's sad when I know what C and D mode is on various parts of Rise of the Resistance, but I do.
In any time that I've gone to after hours events, we did the first night of Jollywood Nights back in November, which was
that would have been epic.
Taylor got his money back. Now you can't control the weather. You cannot control the weather. I get that, but it turned into, because we were there the day before, and of course, Genie Plus is Genie Plus. I've listened to y'all's episodes on Genie Plus recommendations for, and Lord knows, I don't know if it was broken. Usually I know what I'm doing, but no matter the type of lightning lanes that I tried to establish, I'm going into modify, scroll, because you can, as soon as you click in or chime in or tap in to whatever ride, you can start pulling other lightning lanes. You don't have to wait the 2 hours like you assume.
Yeah.
Most people assume. But given that the entire day, we were not able to book lightning lanes from 2 o'clock on. That's how
fun.
How packed the park was on that one day.
Oh, at Hollywood Studios, yeah,
at Hollywood Studio, it was incredible. Yep. And I did not. It had been years since we had been at Hollywood Studios. It had been at least 2 years, and we underestimated. Kind of forgot. Really, well, shocker there. But given everything, we used Jollywood Nights. We dressed up on our Dapper this, Roaring 20s, that whatever, and had a great time. Like I said, you can't control the weather. The bottom fell out. It's Florida. Go figure. But at the same time, we used that, and it was even more than an actual regular day park ticket to buy one ticket for, regardless of all that. But we used that as just a day and an evening to actually kind of compensate and make up for riding the rides we didn't get to ride because of the crowds, because of that. And we tried to plan, we tried to do this and that. I didn't know what was going on. I was a small child lost lost.
We did get to ride Rock and Roller Coaster back to back.
We did, and he got to ride that for the first time, which is at the tender age of, well, he's the young buck in the group, so that's fine. But regardless, no matter what I do, no matter how many times I try to book it, it shuts down. And I know that Rise of the Resistance, the number of working parts, I've ridden it once, and I've been to the parks many, 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 many times. Not as many as y'all over the years, obviously, or Taylor, who's an EO pass holder, and DVC. But what the hell? No offense, like, come on, Space Mountain gone. And these rides just keep shutting down left and right. And I don't know if it's the kiss of death, but come on, people, especially Rise of the Resistance.
I was at Hollywood Studios over spring break, and at Rope Drop, only 2 or 3 attractions were actually open. And it's just like, I don't even know what to do at the moment.
Oh, my.
That's when they roll out the character meet and greets and the bubbles and hula hoops.
This is true. Or the square that you step in, everybody cheers. All the cast members cheer for you.
You talk about D23. Hollywood Studios needs a lot of love, like 2 or 3 E tickets, some B tickets, put in a couple spinners. But Hollywood Studios cannot maintain the crowds per excitement of what they have to offer.
No.
Yeah. Hollywood Studios would be better off with a spinner in the middle of Animation Courtyard than what it has now.
Strollers?
Right. That's all it is. It's just stroller parking waiting to go to Disney Junior, where dreams go to die. But
I will be there on Monday.
There you go.
I did my time. I
You
did my time.
You served your sentence.
It's you guys wouldn't even know the characters that I had to sit through back in the day. You wouldn't even recognize the names. I mean, if I said Goliath, it means nothing to you, right?
Nothing.
My head's here. Yeah. My head is here. I got you.
Yeah.
Are they going to retheme Rock and Roller Coaster
to Queen? The speculation is Queen.
I don't.
People are convinced. I'm not. But people are convinced.
I don't think so until they redo that area and make it like Pixar or something land.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do another band. It's just too much. It's so much easy. Aerosmith is locked in. It costs very little to have them anymore. But,
pennies on the dollar. Pennies. Pennies, I say. So if it gets rethemed, it's going to be like the whole area is rethemed. The launch bay is gone and it bulldozed and something new is built and Disney Junior becomes something, although Disney Junior needs to be there. So I really don't want to see that go. But if it gets rethemed, it's going to be like a Pixar land where we see the Monsters coaster goes in there, or like a Muppets land, which was originally part of the thing because the Little Mermaid was Muppets to begin with. And then they got their fight with Muppets, and then they had to make up with Muppets. And that's, Muppets is a weird history with the Disney company. And
they got weird patches of space at Hollywood Studios. I mean, we got room for another ride in Galaxy's Edge. There's a little bit of room back. I mean, the whole land you could do behind Launch Bay. And Launch Bay wastes a lot of space. So you know what? I can meet Vader in Galaxy's Edge. That's just what I want to do anyway. So
no one's watching that movie back there on purpose. That is 100% an accident. Like, oh, an attraction on the map. Let's go. And nobody comes out and says, like, boy, I'm glad I saw that. Same thing with the Mickey Mouse cartoon on the other side of the park, right?
Yeah.
Like, that used to be a really cool sound effects show, like Drew Carey and just sound. And it was really cool on the making of sound effects. Now it's just, I went there while my kids were on Star Tours so I could sit in air conditioning.
Yep. Absolutely.
I may or may not have snored.
I'll tell you, I think Disney Junior, they could retheme that to maybe a Bluey type thing. I mean, that would get a lot. Shoot, that would get the adults too, or the adults with younger kids, aka me. But I mean, I really liked the old Hollywood studios, the old MGM with the back lot. And Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, all that type of stuff. But obviously, I might be the only one because it's not there anymore.
Well, outside of the large crowds, but MGM yet again, and because I watched a YouTube video on the topic, I'm now an expert. But MGM was doomed from the get-go. You were talking about moving all the intellectual property, moving these, Imagineers, everything animation, moving that to Florida. It was DOA. I mean, that was, and they only built that, right, because they heard about Universal Studios moving to Orlando. That was, and who was, oh gosh, help brain. Brain is, yet again, ADHD is a real thing. But the CEO of the time, Michael Eisner, thank you. This is why you're here, Taylor, in the main reason why you're here. I need help. But no, Michael Eisner, he was working for, was it Paramount? I want to say he was working for Paramount, and that's right. And they pitched the idea to him about them trying to be a part of said venture, and he took the idea and ran with it. And so I think it was somewhat of a rushed park to begin with. Had a lot of cool things. When you have a theme park, and this is after my own heart, a child, a product of the 80s myself, but I'm telling you something, anything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles related, I'm all in. I don't care if it's Universal.
I have a picture of Michelangelo and I at Hollywood Studios back in the
best
day.
days.
I mean, people, it would blow your mind to even know that. I told my youngest son, who's about to turn 8, I said, TMNT, which is like his number one at cartoon at this point, or IP type situation. I blew his mind. We went on did the quick YouTube deep dive, and he's like, Dad, are they still there? And I'm like, son, when I do the adult Disney thing, I will send you a FaceTime when I'm at Disney World and you're back home in rural South Carolina, and not rub it in your face and say, sorry, son, they're not here. I had to go all the way to Florida just to tell you TMNT's not here. Whoops. But no, that type of stuff, it goes into, Walt Disney Studios at Disneyland Paris, right? The entire backlot tour is now what? It's a Cars ride. It's a Cars themed ride.
Which, to be honest, is probably an improvement over what they had. What they had was the saddest backlot tour to ever backlot tour. I don't know if either of you have been there. No, but I think I could put something in my backyard together over a weekend and be like, on your left is this from a movie that you've never heard of. So I may be making it up. It was all French movies. And so, like, I
was
mean,
it all black and white in a mine with a cigarette?
No, it was like I was Googling as we were writing.
Yes,
because that's what one does. And
yes,
other than Catastrophe Canyon was still there, right?
Yeah,
that's
right. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It was like 10 minutes of torture for Catastrophe Canyon, and then it was over, and it was that was it. And so, to be honest, the shoehorn of Cars. Is probably welcome. I will defend that horrible decision as being like, you know what? I've been to that park. That was the park we got to one point and I was like, well, where are we going now? Like, and I really didn't do much research on that park. I was in charge of the other park, and my wife's like, oh, we're at the back. I was like, we were done. So like, we were done. So but that's where they're building Frozen. So it will all be
right.
And they added Avengers Campus. So all is well now in Paris. It was supposed to be done in time for the Olympics. That is not happening.
Oh, wow. And yet again, I didn't realize that, but now I do. But have y'all been to, of course, Walt Disney World? But have y'all been to Disneyland? I mean, I would make that assumption based on the fact you've been to Disneyland Paris, or where have we not been? Is the question.
Asia. We have not been to the Asian parks.
Nope, I've only been here in Alani. So.
Oh wow.
World, Land, and Alani. There you go.
That's it. Wow. No.
So we're rookies because we've only been to World.
That's okay. It's the best.
Now, one thing, Doug and I have never done Disneyland together, and
we haven't.
And I'm like, that would be something because I seem to go there. Pre-pandemic, I'd go every other year, but now,
oh wow,
I've only gone once in the last 4 years. But yeah, you and I need to do that sometime, Doug.
We do.
When flights are not ridiculous to California right now.
And it's hard when we have annual passes in Florida.
That's true. Yes.
That makes a difference. Yeah. But you kind of split the difference being in Nebraska. I've been to Lincoln once. I've made the road trip from South Carolina to Lincoln. Many. It was the last year that University of Nebraska was in the Big 12, and they played Kansas State for the Big 12 North title. I digress. But that was no offense, one of the longest trips of my entire life. We drove. We didn't fly. We're not flying people. We drive.
Oh. That's a decision.
That's terrible.
Yes. Yeah. It was. Yeah. I didn't make the decision.
If I could fly to Doug's, I would.
Why wouldn't I? Right? Give me a hover pack.
Anything.
I fly drones for a living. I just need a bigger one.
That'd be a big battery to get all the way here.
I'll make it work.
We can. Yeah. Okay. Send letters to each other via your drone.
Now it's getting weird.
Yeah. We live about an hour apart.
Yeah. So. And yet we never hang out. Like we've been 8 years. Our podcast is about to hit the 8-year mark.
Wow.
And we can probably count on like one hand how many times we've hung out in the last 8 years. And not me going to get dental things done.
That's why we go to Florida, so that we can hang out uninterrupted.
That's it.
In Florida.
Our first time meeting was at Disney World. We'd done the podcast for a year.
Yeah.
We're like, we should probably hang out. And it's like, okay, let's just go to Avatar.
Go spend a week together. Yeah, just dove right in. That was either going to make or break the podcast.
That was your honeymoon. That was your honeymoon right there.
Yep.
Essentially, yeah.
Dang.
We
survived. 3 honeymoons at Disney. I just could not imagine. You're blowing my mind. The traffic.
And now we go every year together. It's just, part of what
Double D for the win, I tell you. That's excellent. I tell you, yeah, we are just now catching up with, at least we are now planning like Disney, or Taylor, your family, my family, we are attempting to make the plans for Disney together. Yeah. We are just now, even though we only go for half the week and we can't afford to do the whole, because we go twice a year, it's the whole family and just my wife and I, we do the race. But now we are teaming up. We're kind of, we always talk about wanting to do something, maybe go into business together, do something that, and I'm like, well, I don't really have the, the collateral or money to begin with. I work in education, so go figure. But regardless, no, the podcast for us was the perfect creative outlet, at least for our version of something that we didn't realize that we both had a love for, And I was not always the biggest Disney fan. I've been into it, but I really didn't get into it until I was going to the parks with my kids, that nostalgia. I grew up going a few times, and I'm not that far. I'm only like an 8 hour drive from Disney World. It takes me hop, skip, and jump. I'm a state away. But regardless, through my kids, that's what kind of got me into it, got me back into it. And that's kind of our situation. We really don't have, as you can see, it is a hot mess of a podcast. We have a good time talking. We can talk, at least me. But regardless, I'll text Taylor like the week before or the week of, like, hey, you want to record? He's like, no. Okay, we're good. Never mind. But we literally just come up with a topic the week of. I'll pitch a few different ideas, and normally my idea gets trashed, and Taylor just, does his own thing.
Hey, we're 2 for 2 with, 2 podcasts and episodes in 2 weeks. That's pretty.
Actually, that's not. We've been stockpiling the episodes, so and that's up to me to post everything,
and then
that's definitely the hardest thing. We've gone 8 years and have not missed a week, and that's been even through the pandemic. That we've had some bad episodes, that's for sure. But
we've jumped the shark a time or two.
There have been some we're about to record. Like, hey, what are we going to talk about today? I don't know. We kind of fly something together.
I got things noodling around up there, and let Derek in on the what's been brewing until like the day before sometimes.
That's it.
This week we're
Yes.
about to record, that's been scheduled for a little while, Derek.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
got a guest on. There you go.
It's been planned.
Look at y'all.
All about the quick service dining plan in action.
Ooh. I have heard, and I'm not trying to go too deep with this because we are going to round it up quite soon and put a little bow on this or tie that bow. But the Disney dining plan, I've heard it's way too much food. I've heard that this is just me here. I've never done it before. I've never done it, and I've been comparing that to how the Asian parks do it, especially Tokyo, Disneyland, and Disney Sea. Right. And I didn't realize that the lines for those parks were at least 30, 45 minutes. And they have individual snacks for each individual cart. They don't have quick service. They have quick service, but it's not anything close to what we have, at least in Florida and Disneyland, you know? But that being the case, yet again, talking about something I know nothing about, just what I've read, what I've heard.
We'll just have to listen to
we'll just have to find out.
Episode.
Yeah. I will say this: if someone tells you it's too much food,
yes,
it's someone that did the dining plan in like 2018,
okay.
2019, because they used to get like an appetizer or a dessert, and like when you're doing that every meal for like say 5 days straight,
sure,
that becomes a lot of food. There's no more appetizer, there's no more dessert, so now it's just simply your entree and then a separate snack, and so. I think they fixed the it's too much food problem.
I don't know if that was ever actually a problem, but sure, let's say that.
Complain about it. Like,
too much food at Disney. Oh,
I'm not going to burn
nice things.
Yeah.
Bob Iger heard that and he heard
that was like,
we're going to just start slashing those.
We're taking away the appetizers, but not changing the price. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so
this
episode still comes with an adult beverage, so that's a win.
That's the important
That is a major win. That is a win in my book. Yes.
So that's what we'll be discussing. A lot of numbers, I think, though.
Oh, you already hurt my head with that one. I'm not a math person.
Someone else does it for you, though.
That's it.
Not us.
That's what we have.
That's why I have a CPA. There you go.
That's it. That's why I'm married. That's the only reason I have anything going for me at all. You know, my mom said I was a catch once, and I went, "Thanks, Mom," and then just sent me off into the world and got lucky, and here we are. But regardless, fellas, thank you for the time.
Yes, it's been
thank you.
It has been an absolute privilege, honor. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day. I know that there's a lot of corn that needs to be tending to. I know it's growing as we speak.
Just got planted yesterday in the field next to me. Like they just got planted. So there's your update on corn.
That's exciting. That's like edge of your seat.
Riveting stuff.
Exactly. And as you can see, I've been sitting on the corn joke until the end of the
You did
episode.
a good, you held it in. Yeah, you got paid.
Oh, that was really hard. But regardless, fellas, thank you so much. Taylor,
Yes,
do you have anything
thank you.
else? Yep. And we look forward to tuning in. Yeah, y'all do weekly podcasts, so please check out Rope Drop Radio. Doug and Derek, y'all have been you really lived up to the Double D name. I'm telling you. Like, do y'all have like Double D tattoos? Like, what is that situation? Like, are we taking advantage of the Double D nickname? Is that something that should be done?
Nope, never did. We tried a few things back in the day. No.
It's we're too lazy to really work hard at
we
that.
don't need names and shirts.
Minimal efforts on our behalf
Yes.
for most things.
That's it.
Yeah. You were talking about how you did research. Derek, I made you do some research before one podcast. Like
That's a lot of work.
Remember that when we did the dining plan one back in like
yes. Sometimes Doug's like, "Hey, we have an episode coming up. You're actually going to have to want to read some things." I'm like, "Oh, okay, fine."
Oh, so no.
We work really hard at it. I'm kidding.
Yep.
It's all day, all night. It's a full-time job.
I mean, based on the over your left shoulder, based on the number of medals I see there in the ears, yes, that is a given. The ears collection is a given, and the clock is just epic right there. That's awesome. Love the clock. But how many medals are we talking here? Good.
I don't know. It's my wife and I.
Yes.
The key is to do the events that get you multiple medals for finishing one thing. So I crossed the finish line in Florida one time and I received 3 medals. And that was the way to go because I did the Disneyland Star Wars half.
Oh, cool.
And so then when we went to Florida, we did the other half of the Disney or the Star Wars race. So we got the Kessel Run medal and the Coast to Coast medal. So I got 3 medals. That was in another lifetime though.
I understand.
They were still doing Star
I
Wars
need medals
races.
behind me. That's what I need.
You do. You got your little Star Cruiser memorial.
I do. Actually, the real Star Cruiser memorial is over off to the side.
Do you light candles in front of it, Derek?
Yes, I do. And I pray to it that it comes back. Yes, I need the Star Cruiser back. If
Derek's
that's all they ask, say at D23, that's all they say. Stand up. It's coming back. I will cheer. I'll cry, and I'll say it's perfect. That's why you needed to rent out the center.
Could they make it a DVC?
They can't.
No.
But that would be awesome if they did, but they can't.
If they made it a hotel, it'd be the worst hotel on property.
Yeah.
What are they speculating that they're going to do with that space? What's happening?
There's always rumors.
We have our ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, not to take that deep dive. Give us 1 or 2. Yeah, please. I'm putting you on the spot.
So my one thought, I think
yes,
we've talked about this before, is it's a dinner show. So you get on the old portal over at Hollywood Studios. You come over to the Star Cruiser. You board the Halcyon. You do the bridge training, which is a key part of the experience of the Star Cruiser. And you do the lightsaber training. And in between there's a couple show elements that happen in the atrium. Then you go to dinner. The show continues. And then after dinner, there's the finale to the show and fireworks. And then ice cream. And then you're back over to Hollywood Studios. It'd be like a 3 to 4 hour experience. And it would probably cost you $250 a person. Just putting Disney prices on it, right, Derek?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Derek has other
only. Well, I think I would like to see it more change up as soon as like new shows and IPs came out with it. So you had the Acolyte. Yeah. So in a few months, you get an Acolyte version of it. You get an Andor version of it. You get Mandalorian version of it. And so, yeah, it gives a replayability. But I do think Doug's on to the right area. I think it's going to be more of a dinner show.
Sadly, I think that's what we could expect. Would I like it to just come back as it was?
Absolutely.
With better marketing, yes.
And new storyline, sure.
It was amazing.
That's awesome. All the videos that we saw, that was once in a lifetime. That's awesome. Did y'all go together? Did y'all do the venture together or at different times?
We went twice together, and then I got to go a third time where I got to take my son, who's really into Star Wars, and
that's incredible.
So it's funny. Like at that trip, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so expensive." Now I look at them like that was core memories for both of us. It was worth every penny.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow. Well, Taylor, do you have anything else, my man?
Hey, no, I'm in awe and amazement. It's been an honor.
It's been an honor. I'm taking mental notes on actually how to present myself, how to articulate, how to actually function as how to run a podcast, because it's not us. But yes, we appreciate your time. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good one. Thank y'all.
All right, see y'all.
Thank you.